What's up, Builders Club TV Nation? You got Dewan Jones here, your professional stay-at-home dad. And boy, am I excited about tonight's show. The guest we have on tonight, family, is absolutely phenomenal. A phenomenal individual doing some phenomenal things, making a lot of noise in these internet streets. You know how we do it, family. We got Damon Dillard on the show tonight, entrepreneur, business strategist, and mentor, professional speaker. He does a lot of things, guys, but one thing he does best is he helps a lot of people in the process, right? We're going to get him on the show and talk to him, see if we can pick his brain a little bit, guys. Let me get myself on camera really quickly, family, so I can tell you once again, as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing the information about the Builders Club TV show. Again, we're going to highlight the best of the best in entrepreneurship, home business, and all the above. It's about the culture, guys. It's about bringing value and helping you in your entrepreneurial journey. Let me make sure that our friend Damon Dillard can hear us loud and clear. Damon, can you hear me okay? Awesome. Let me get you on camera, man, so the family can see you. How's it going, my brother?
Man, it's going absolutely amazing. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Excited to have you on. When we found out you'd be on the show, we got very excited, man. We love the content that you put out there. Always motivation, always inspiration. You're always dropping those nuggets, man. You got some amazing content. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure. I saw the things that you guys are doing, and I'm extremely excited to hopefully add some value to your audience.
Awesome. Well, man, speaking of value, what we like to do, man, is we like to jump into the Builders Club TV time machine. And what we do is we take the audience back, we take the family back, because we found out through speaking with so many people like yourself who are out there creating a lot of success and helping a lot of other people do the same thing. There's so much to learn about the path of successful people, man. Would you agree?
Absolutely, there is.
Awesome. So if we can, man, let's go back. Let's take the family back and talk to them about your path to success, if you will, man. Before you discovered entrepreneurship, before you were doing what you do now currently, what was life like before you discovered entrepreneurship?
Well, I'll start with this, man. I'm sure that a lot of people that listen to this, I'm sure a lot of people that follow a lot of your content are very similar to the man that I was before, and maybe even the man that I am now. I remember when I was getting into the podcasts and the audios and the books, essentially I was looking for the answer, okay? I'm sure a lot of people grew up very, very similar to me. I wasn't a very, very smart guy. I still don't claim to be the smartest gentleman. I graduated high school with a 1.9 GPA. I barely graduated.
Wow.
I think my mom signed for a couple additional classes just to make sure I had enough credits to graduate. I was never really bred or even told as a young man that I was going to be an extreme success. I won't get into my religious background right now, but I was kind of conditioned with the mentality that this world would soon be passing. That if I was to invest into anything, it had to be in God. It had to be in that specific religion, because sports, because business, because, you know, any other creative things I could be a part of, extracurricular activities I could be a part of, would just be here today and gone tomorrow from their thought process. So in my youth, I was never really encouraged to do more than what I was doing at that time. My mother worked 3 different jobs to provide for us, so I didn't grow up in a very affluent neighborhood, didn't really see a lot of people with money. I saw a church on every corner. I saw a liquor store on every single corner. A lot of my friends and family, even if they weren't inside the religion, were working, I wouldn't say mediocre jobs. They were doing the best they can, but there was more month than money on every single month. So
right.
I grew up, I remember my father paid child support, but I used to always wonder, well, why can't I have the FUBU? Why can't I have the Fat Farm? Why I got to wear the Shack? Why do we got to pay less or Save a Lot? I don't know where you guys are from, but we got Save a Lot. It's like a discount grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I remember going to the thrift stores, and my mom was a seamstress, so she would get me suits, and she would literally hem up all of my suits and pants. I never had anything new. And it always boggled my mind, man, because I saw her working her face off. I literally never saw my mother. She was always working, but everything was stipend. You know what I mean? Like, everything was scarce. We could only have a certain amount of juice. I could only be in the shower for a certain amount of time. You know, if you was in there longer than 5 minutes, they might cut off the water on you.
Yes, sir.
She used to tell me, hey, listen, better eat now because you're not getting anything later. And, she told me a lot of things that really conditioned my mindset to be that of somebody making $20,000 to $30,000. So to my point, what I started with this, honestly, before I became an entrepreneur, man, I was just looking for an answer. The answer that I had been given for the first 18, really 21 years of my life didn't leave me fulfilled. I wasn't happy with the lifestyle that I was living. I didn't feel like mediocre was me. I didn't feel like I was average. I knew I was made for something greater. And that's, I think the word says it best: seek and you will find. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow, that's so powerful, man. And I think the point that you're bringing up, you're kind of tapping on some things that a lot of people are familiar with, relate to, especially myself. It's like you dug in my past and told my story, because I can definitely relate to some of the things you're talking about. But you're right, man. I think that, the way that you're brought up, your environment, your surroundings plays a major role in the mindset that you develop into your later years as an adult. And I think a lot of people don't even realize that. And so I think that's very true. Do you think that is something, again, that a lot of people don't realize, man?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was having a conversation with my wife last week, and I don't know, here in the last probably 12 months, there's been so many just revelations and epiphanies, and the different conventions I've been going to, the different seminars I've been going to, has just really, really brought up a lot for me. From the form of personal development. And I was having a conversation with her, and one thing I heard, and I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with this idea, but it's a true stat, right? Mm-hmm. We are done learning from a conscious level, right? From our subconscious mind being created, which we can get into that here in a second, at the age of 7. Now, I want to put that in perspective. What that meant to me was, you are conditioned from the moment that you are born, from the people around you, from the words that you're hearing, from, your schoolmates, your classmates, what your teachers are telling you, the different entertainment that you're used to, the cartoons that you're watching, the TV that you're watching, the music that you're listening to. Your entire environment is literally conditioning you from the age of just born to 7. Now check this out. When you turn 7, you are who you are. The way that you react, the way that you respond, you are who you are. So many of us, which I'm really coming into a better understanding of this now, many of us are simply repeating the same responses and reactions that we've been giving life, possibly for the past 20, 30, 40 years, never even thinking of, hey, we can actually change. And for me, when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, looking, connecting the dots. Now I know exactly why I was responding the way I did to many situations when I was a teenager. Now I know why I was making the amount of money. They say that you're going to be the sum total or the average of the 5 people closer to you. You can look at that about income, about lifestyle, about anything. Well, they also say that look at the median income of both of your parents, 9 times out of 10, you'll be making exactly what they were making. Well, why? Because that's what you were conditioned to believe. If you were conditioned to believe, which I was, that my mother had to work 3 jobs, right? Work ethic is there, but she had to work 3 jobs just to get by. Guess what? I'm also going to think you have to work hard to make money, which is exactly why, leading up to me becoming an entrepreneur, I was working. Listen, I don't know if you ever heard of a company called 2 Men in a Truck, but I was working my butt off to make about $9 an hour. I was working harder than anybody I know, but I was making $9 an hour. So absolutely, man, that conditioning is everything. And believe it or not, we're constantly being conditioned. But many people stay in the place where they're at right now because they never get uncomfortable. They never decide to put themselves in a new environment. They never decide to put themselves around new people, new information, to hear new things, to be in a different environment. And thus, every year for the rest of their life looks the same.
Wow. That's so powerful, man. When did you begin to break the cycle for yourself When did that shift happen to you? Was it something that happened to you that made you start thinking or aligning with a different thought process? What happened to you in your life besides just watching your mother work so hard? Was there some type of mentor, or what happened that made you change the way you were thinking?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, I can look back to several different situations that kind of led up to me having that revelation. But there was a gentleman that I met, actually two specific instances. The first one, which I'll be very, very brief about, is what really showed me what I felt my career path, what my gifting would be. People have always said I had the gift of gab, but I remember my father, he lives in Cleveland, Ohio, came all the way down to Columbus, about a 2-hour drive where I was living at the time. I was 19. I remember he had his eye on a Lexus SC430. It was a little coupe that had just come out. I think this was like 2003.
Right.
And when he came down, his full intention was to just simply look at the car. He had no intention of buying. And I remember going over to the car lot with him. And I'll never forget the gentleman that helped us, because he changed my entire view of sales. I mean, I fell in love with the way that he was able to influence. I fell in love with the example that he set. He was a very, very polished man. He was extremely articulate, very, very charismatic. He made you feel like you weren't even buying anything. He built instant rapport with sounding like the corny sales guy, like, hey, tell me about your kids. Tell me about your dog. Tell me about your family.
Yeah.
And I remember walking through that experience thinking that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And what's crazy is, if you ever read a book called Think and Grow Rich, in the very first chapter, the very first principle that he really gives is what my entire life has been predicated on. It's desire. He said that desire is the starting point, not of all wealth, but of all achievement. And from the moment I met that man, I had a desire to become one of the greatest influencers in the world, to become one of the greatest ethical salesmen in the world. And I remember from that moment, man, what's really, really plagued me, and I want to drop this to your audience.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be completely transparent here. I've always been, all glory to God, a talented guy, but my character was never able to keep me in a place before where my talent would get me, right? So I was able to get a great job. I was always able to get in rooms where more than likely I should not have been, right?
Yeah.
But my character would always see me very, very quickly out of those situations. So I had a lot of experiences when I was younger, making a lot of money, but I found myself at 28, and I'm getting to your question here, found myself at 28 lost. I mean, broken, all the potential in the world, right? You got people telling me left and right, man, you're gonna do something amazing with your life, and I'm broke, right? I'm just getting out of college, first 28, getting out of college, chasing a hoop dream. I'm literally robbing Peter to pay Paul. Yeah. I'll never forget the experience. I had a girlfriend at the time. She's now my wife. We had a daughter. My electricity had been cut off in my home. I was literally $20 from my mother just to get gas.
Wow.
We were contacting different churches just to get our rent paid. And you look at me, right? Not a bad looking person, all the potential in the world. I could still typically carry on a conversation like this, right? And losing. I'm going from job to job. I'm going from opportunity to opportunity. I'm in network marketing one day. I'm trying to be a part of the financial industry the next day. The next day I want to go into real estate. Yeah. And I'll never forget, a friend called me. All right, I'm not in this particular business now, but a friend called me, and this is what changed my life forever. A friend called me and said, hey, listen, I want you to come to a meeting, right? Yeah. I'm sure people have gotten talked before. They never tell you what the meeting is about. It's at some hotel, right? I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't have anywhere else to turn. Let me check out this meeting. And I believed in this guy because he had been making pretty good money before in his life. So I said, okay, I'll go. To the meeting. And I'm sitting there with my girlfriend. Literally, I remember the shoes I had on. There was literally a hole in the bottom, so I didn't want to walk around too much because there was kind of right. Wow. And we're sitting, and I see a young lady in the front row, beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful, and you could tell that she had money. All right, I'll reveal her name here in a second. Right. Then out of nowhere, of course, the guy up front, he's edifying the speaker. And my friend told me about the speaker. He's like, man, you're going to love this guy. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. You're going to love him. So in walks this gentleman, and you ever seen those people that just look like they know it, like they got it.
Right.
He had on the shirt. I don't even know Versace. You know what I mean? He had on what I was called back then red bottoms, right? But now I know they're Louboutins, right? He had on the red bottoms. He had on the iced out watch, and you could tell it was authentic, right? This is real. Got up in front of the room. Wowed the entire crowd. I mean, he was charismatic, he was articulate, he was funny. And the reason I gave that experience with the gentleman that was in sales is because it was a very similar path, right? Like very, very similar. Like, man, what do you do? Check this out. Afterwards, I was smart enough to know there's a ton of people in this company, millions of people in the industry.
Right.
But from what I had heard, this woman was making 6 figures a month. Everybody's finding attention. However it happened, I ended up being on a one-on-one conversation with this guy in a private room.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to ask him the question that I don't think anybody else will ask. And this is what I asked him. I said, listen, I know that what you're doing and what you've been able to accomplish is not normal. You're probably 0.1 of all the people.
Right.
There's something you know that nobody else in this room knows. And that's what I want to know. Because I said, you know what? If I can figure out what's in this guy's head, I can have exactly what's in his head. And he looked at me. And what was so funny is he said, man, I appreciate that about you because I asked my mentor 7 years ago the same exact thing. And so I'm leaning in, I'm waiting for the right? And he looks at me. He says, Damon, no one believes the way that I do. And I'm thinking, that's it.
That's it.
Like, all it is believing. I said, listen, I'm not excited about your product or service, sir. I think at the time we talked, right? I was like, I'm not excited about that. I probably won't do anything with the company, but tell me what I need to read. Tell me what I need to know. This was 2014. Never forget it. He said, listen, I want you to grab The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, right? A gentleman who basically started the personal development arena, the gentleman who mentored Bob Proctor, the gentleman who wrote books with Napoleon Hill. He had the first gold vinyl record in the personal development arena, 19-minute audio called The Strangest Secret, where he said, listen, changed my life forever. You become what you think about. So simple, yet so profound. He said, Damon, I want you to grab that. I want you to listen to it every single day. He said, I want you to grab Claude Bristol, The Magic of Believing. The Magic of Believing. Incredible. He told me about the mirror technique. He said, because everything that you have in your life right now is predicated on how you see you, your self-image. So guess what? If you can look yourself in the mirror and begin to lie to yourself, listen, man, I'm sure your audience knows some people right now that have lied to themselves so much that they begin to believe the lie, right? I said, okay, I'm going to make that process empower me instead of disempowering me. So I learned in that book about affirmations. I learned to start telling myself I'm a multi-millionaire. I started to learn to tell myself, because I had heard that money doesn't grow on trees, that all rich people are going to, you know what, that if it's too good to be true, that it probably is, right? I had learned all these things that had formed me into the man that was struggling financially. So I said, you know what? I'm going to say this. I believe in myself. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Sharp, ambitious people are always contacting me to be a part of my company. All of my friends are millionaires, and my children hang around with nothing but influential people. My children are now in private schools. My relationships are flourishing. I began to say these things to myself in the mirror. And lastly, he said, listen, I want you to grab my audio. It was an audio called Conceive, Believe, Achieve. And see, this information, right? If you look at that word information, right? I love it, because what you're looking at, whatever you're viewing, even everybody that's listening to this right now, this is information. First, it goes in your mind. right? And then it formulates your thoughts, and then your actions will precede it. Well, guess what? That's how anything is happening in your life. First, your beliefs, what you believe about yourself, are forming your feelings. Your feelings are then forming your thoughts are forming your actions, and obviously your actions are changing your result. But see, my man, the mistake I was making is I was trying to change my results without changing my belief. So my results were dumb jobs, right? My results was a lack of money. And I thought it was so many outside sources that I could look to change that. Okay, well, you know what? I got to find a new job. I got to find a new craft. I got to go back to school. Nah, he said, Damon, if you change your beliefs, and that, my friend, changed my life forever. To this day, wow, that is all I study. I study believing.
Wow, that is so powerful. And as that information penetrates, anyone who listens to it, I mean, it's so deep. But at the same time, there's so many people who not only they don't realize it's that fundamental, they're not doing those things, right? And so many people, like you said, are chasing the result, right? But really the result comes from within. It's not really an exterior thing. It's an internal thing. It's what starts in your mind and your belief system. And that's so powerful. I kind of want to switch gears a little bit, but it's kind of in that lane, in that vein a little bit. Because one of the things that we see you do online a lot, man, is that, you're very fit. You're into fitness, right? And I'm telling you, man, look, I'm about to get on it, man. I'm trying to get into that lane where when I believe it or not, I used to be the truth, man. I used to be in shape, right?
Okay.
And I'm getting back into that, man. And that's like one of my primary things, even before business, even before anything. I'm looking to conquer that monster, man, the consistency. Because a lot of things that you're talking about right now, will believe requires consistency. Getting the books, getting the audios, personal development. It requires the action to actually stay consistent in that space, right? Otherwise, it's not going to work. So you're putting in the work, not only with your mind, but your body too, man. You're putting in the fitness. Can you tell us? And I want to talk about this really quick, because all the successful people, I was just telling a friend of mine, all the successful people that I'm seeing, they all work out, man. They all in shape, right? That's like a major thing, right? And so I'm telling my friend, I said, man, bro, we got to get on it. There's no way, like, we're chasing the everything else, but the body is important, right? So can you speak to that a little bit? Why do you work out the way that you do, and does that help you in your business?
Yeah, well, I talked about it a little bit earlier. That's self-image, man. I realized that I had been conditioned to believe a certain way about me. I also feel that how you do anything is how you do everything. So there's certain things in my life that are absolutely non-negotiable, because there's different pockets of your life, right? Your fitness, your finances, your relationships, your investment, and your business. It's all important, right? If you were to look at a car, and let's just say one of those areas represented a different wheel, listen, every one of those wheels is important. So I can't have an absolutely amazing relationship and my finances be horrible, right? I probably need to have some balance in that area. Right. I think the majority of marriages are failing due to a lack of either communication about finances or just enough money. Well, the same thing, I can't have a ton of money and be absolutely unhealthy, right? Eating the wrong foods, it's going to be very short-lived, or I may not live long enough to see the results of all the time I put into my work. So for me, again, how you do everything is how you do everything. So one of my non-negotiables that I really, really coach on is my morning routine. So fitness is a part of my morning routine. Now, you're an entrepreneur just like me, man. So you already know when people ask us, well, what are your work hours? My work hours are open to close. From the moment I open my eyes and I close my eyes, I'm working, right?
Exactly.
And I heard somebody say, if you want to be great in business, you have to be great with understanding, appreciating, and dealing with uncertainty. As an entrepreneur, nothing is a sure thing. So that time for me in the morning, at least the first 2.5 to 3 hours that I'm up, with my fitness routine, with my gratitude, with my meditation, with my prayer, with my affirmations, with, my water, everything is very intentional for me to set up the rest of my day. I have to have a clear mind. I have to be focused. So when I'm in that gym, for me, I'm not, you don't necessarily, to the audience or whoever's listening, you don't necessarily have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to necessarily do it for aesthetics. But I mean, you could look under any health journal and see the benefits of at least getting in 15 to 30 minutes of activity every single day, the mental clarity that it provides for you, the endorphins that are released. One of the greatest things that not that I said, but that I found out about manifesting anything in your life is the more that you feel good, the more that you're in gratitude, the more great things that you're going to attract to you. So what better way to release endorphins than working out, giving your body the great feeling? But guess what? As your body changes, as you see it change, it's the same process in anything else that you do, right? Anything that you do is going to have a process of discomfort. So for me, working out, I literally am working out to condition my mind to say that I'm in charge. Listen, I don't care how you feel. Yes, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, you are tired. Yes, you just went to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm taking you over, right? The mind always gives up before the body does, right? So if I can control my mind, if I can say, nope, we're working out now. Or let's just say, for instance, I'm under the bench press, right? It's the number one area where I believe people can control right now and begin to influence their self-image. If I'm under that bench press, right, and I got 12 sets, and on number 8, I'm struggling. Listen, my body's giving up. There's no way.
Right.
But I force myself to get to that number 12. Do you know when I lift my body up, how that feels? So small, but so big when it comes to anything else. So now, if a client tells me no, guess what, ma'am? I conquered more in the first 3 hours of my day than 90% of America has. And guess what? In entrepreneurship, yes, it is competitive. I don't believe that you need to compete. We create, absolutely. But business is competitive, absolutely. So if you already have given yourself the great feeling that, hey, I woke up earlier than my competition, I've done everything before 8 o'clock that most people haven't accomplished by 12, that's automatically going to influence what? Your self-image. So as I start to see myself as somebody that's disciplined, as I start to see myself as somebody that's in control of their own mind, see somebody that's consistent. You know, my meditation involves visualization. So I've already seen the success that my day is going to have, the success that my week is going to have, the success that my life is going to have. That provides mental clarity as well. And with that, you have confidence. I'll tell you this lastly, because I can go on and on about this.
Oh, man, we're enjoying it.
The bane to my existence and the reason why I put out content is not for people to join my company. It's not for people to buy my products or anything. The bane to my existence, man, is people that lack in confidence. And the reason why that is because if you think of anything that you've tried to do, right, no matter who the person is, anything you can think of, it all involved confidence, whether you did extremely well and excelled in it, or you absolutely failed, or you didn't even try. What if you have the confidence to do anything? Anything. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich talks about the confidence formula, the self-confidence formula. I encourage everybody to read about that. It's in the same chapter as faith. Listen, if you have the confidence to do whatever you wanted to do, listen, just because you have confidence in one area doesn't mean that you have confidence in another area. Just like when people say, well, I do believe, I trust me, I believe you. There are certain things that you believe for, but what if you believe that anything was possible for you? Right? People say all the time, I have faith in all things. Well, do you? Do you truly have faith in all things? Do you truly believe that you can do all things?
Come on.
And that muscle of confidence, that muscle of faith, that muscle of belief is what I've worked on. Because I've been the kid that was made fun of in 5th grade, right? That saw myself as weak. I was wearing thrift store stuff, right? I wasn't bred to be somebody that was confident or even attract an opportunity like you just gave me, right? To be sharing advice. What?
That
doesn't happen. Right? But see, you get the confidence and you begin attracting the people, the places, the circumstances, and the situations that are in alignment with what you deserve in your life. And that's why working out is pivotal as a part of my routine.
Man, Builders Club TV family. I hope you got room for all this value. Okay, I mean it's fire, man. You're bringing the heat. Definitely, we definitely got to have you back on the show, Damon. We can pick your brain all night, man. Can you give out your social media website or anything like that? The family can get in touch if they like to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So social media, very simple. I don't have any cool nicknames or anything. So on Instagram, it is Damon P. Dillard, Damon P-D-I-L-L-A-R-D. And then, of course, on Facebook, it is Damon Dillard. Those are both business pages as well. So, yeah, feel free to shoot me a DM on either one of those. I'd love to connect.
Definitely follow him on social media, guys. I mean, great content, motivation, everything, man. It's the bomb. Before we get out of here, man, we got a new game that we play with the mentors, the entrepreneurs that come on to the show, man. We'd like to play with you if it's cool. We call it a word of advice with a mentor. Can we play the game real quick? It's real simple, man. All you got to do, we basically give you a few words, Damon. And with these few words, we give you a word, and then your job is to give us a word of advice using that word. Make sense?
Okay.
Got it. So we're gonna give you a word. You're gonna give us a word of advice using that word. So I'm gonna spit some words at you, man, and then you'll give us some advice. You ready to play?
I'm ready.
Let's do it, man. So the first word we got for you is awesome.
You need to become the Don King of you. Telling yourself every day how awesome you are.
That's good.
Because you are.
That's good. The next word is never.
Never say never. Anything's possible.
The next word is income.
Income is not a determiner of growth.
Bars. The next word is true.
Ooh. True or truth?
True. You can use either or. True. You can use either or. It'll work.
Okay. Not to get spiritual, but I believe that the only truth about you is what God says about you.
Hey,
not what people say, not anything else.
I can dig it. The last word we got for you, man, you ready, is will.
Master your will, you'll master your life.
Love it. Hey, man, we appreciate you playing the game. We definitely got to have you back on the show, man. We in fact have a new series we'll be debuting soon. We're working on it now, man. It's called The Builders Club TV Presents A Day in the Life. Damon, this is the lifestyles of the rich and famous for the network marketing, entrepreneurship, home business industry, where we basically give the audience a virtual field trip and we take them on the inside. And this is personal development meets lifestyle. And, you could be doing anything. You could be showing us the books that you read, because you've already named off some jewels, right? You could be at a restaurant, you could be working out, whatever the case might be. We just want to turn the camera on and get some more of those nuggets that you've been dropping on us, man. And so we definitely got to have you back on the show, brother.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Builders Club TV family, that's a wrap. Damon Dillard. See you next time. Peace.
Thank you, bro.